Ladies, gentlemen, Speakerhead Squad, what is going on? It is your boy Speakerhead, and welcome back to another video. For those of you who watch my videos, many of you know that I absolutely love Legend Scale Transformers, specifically New Age Transformers. But many of you also know that I made a video talking about the top 5 Magic Sqaure figures you should own. Not to spoil the list, but at number 1 I put Magic Sqaure Perceptor. And in that video I said I was going to try to get my hands on him, and I eventually did, so I wanted to make a video talking about him. But before we get into this review, if you enjoy any of this sort of content, make sure to like and subscribe, it really does help me out. Also, friendly reminder that every like equals 1 pat for my little buddy Doug here. Say hi, Doug. Also, if you enjoy any of the music in this video or just want to support the channel in general, it's all part of my royalty-free music label, Speakerhead Studios. All the music on this label is completely royalty-free, so go ahead and use it for any of your content creating needs. Finally, if you ever want to catch me live, I do stream over at Speakerhead Live on YouTube. But now that we got all that out of the way, let's get into the review. So to start off, I actually want to talk about the materials of this figure. Because unlike other Magic Sqaure figures, this guy uses a much harder plastic compared to the softer plastic we're all used to with Magic Sqaure. I did want to get that out of the way because it is something that is important. But now moving on from that, let's talk about accessories. The only thing this guy's going to come with is his signature blaster. It has a great sculpt, and it's also made with that harder plastic I was talking about before. Now moving on to the figure, specifically the sculpt, I absolutely love the sculpt of this guy. I think they did an excellent job representing Perceptor and also giving him a little bit more of a heroic look, kind of like what they do with fans toys. In just a quick 360 view, you guys can see this guy cleans up very nicely. But starting with the head, I think Magic Sqaure did an excellent job with this sculpt. I will say I'm not the biggest fan of the stoic face on this figure, but overall it's not terrible. Talking about the chest, I absolutely love the silvers they used on it. Same with the silvers they used on the arms. It really just pops out from the rest of the figure. I will admit it's kind of glossy and makes it hard for photos sometimes, but overall in person I absolutely love it. Then moving on to the lower torso and upper legs, I absolutely love the sculpt of both of them. The lower torso is nice and simplistic, but the upper legs have a tiny bit of detail in it that really makes it stand out. And then finally moving on to the lower legs, I love it as well. It has a tiny bit of detail in there, but it overall is pretty basic. But now moving on to sculpt, let's talk about the paint job of this guy. So I will note that this is the second run of this guy, which I believe has a full paint job on him compared to the first run. But I will say that the paint job on this guy is absolutely stunning. From what I can tell, everything is painted head to toe except for the crotch plate and maybe a couple other spots, but it really does blend in well so you don't notice. But the paint job they added to this guy is fantastic. I absolutely love how it looks on him. Then as usual, I love the metallic blue that Magic Sqaure uses for the eyes because I think it just looks stunning on every single one of their figures. Overall, I can't speak on the first version of this guy since I don't have him to compare, but if you get the second version of this guy that's fully painted, you will not be disappointed. I absolutely love this figure. You won't hear me say it enough. So moving on to posability, Magic Sqaure did an excellent job with this guy, just like all their other figures. Starting with the head, it's on a ball joint that's at the back of the head, so he can look fully up, which is fantastic for a lot of articulation. For the arms, he does have an upper bicep swivel and a double jointed elbow, which is fantastic. Moving down to the chest, he has an excellent ab crunch, and he also has a waist swivel. Moving down to the upper legs, you can move them all the way forward if you move the crotch plate, most of the way back, which is more than what you'll ever need. And then not too far out to the side, maybe about 45 degrees, but that's more than you'll ever need. Now talking about the knees, it is on a double joint, which I absolutely love. I love getting those kneeling poses with that double joint, and Magic Sqaure does a fantastic job with it. Then moving down the feet, they have back and forth articulation in both the heel and the toe, and then an ankle, tilt, and pivot. In some spots it is fairly limited, but you can still get any pose you need with it. But now that we talked about the robot mode, let's talk about the transformation a little bit. When it comes to the transformation, I really love transforming this figure. The transformation is so easy and smooth. I love keeping this guy on my desk and transforming it over and over again. And I will say it does take homage to the original G1 transformation, but it does have some extra steps that makes it a little bit more enjoyable. But whether you're transforming it from robot mode to alt mode or vice versa, you're gonna have a great time doing it. And then finally, you finish with a great looking end product. So now talking about the alt mode of this guy, I really love what they did with it. I will say Perceptor's transformation isn't the most difficult thing in the world, but I think what they did with it did an excellent job for the alt mode. Just those few extra steps really made it look fantastic. Then once again, the paint job on this version is just fantastic. It makes it look that much better. If I really want to nitpick anything on this figure, I wish that the microscope actually zoomed in and out, but because it's so small, I completely understand why they didn't do it. But like I said, if I'm really trying to nitpick, that's the only thing. Other than that, I absolutely love the alt mode of this figure. Hey everybody, Speakerhead from the future here. Completely forgot to mention this while recording, but I just want to throw up a few photos of this guy, comparing him to some other figures, and then also showing you just a few action shots of this guy, so I hope you enjoy. So now talking about my final thoughts on this guy, I think you guys know that I absolutely love this figure. I really love both the robot mode and the alt mode. I love the materials they used for it. I love the paint job they did for it. I think Magic Sqaure did an excellent job on this guy. In fact, if I wanted to add anything negative here, it wouldn't be towards that figure, but it would be towards the rest of the Magic Sqaure figures and wishing that the rest of them were made out of the same materials. Because if Magic Sqaure made the rest of their figures like this, I would be buying them up all day. But just like many other people out there, I don't like the softer plastic they use for their figures. I will say it doesn't stop me from buying their figures these days because they're overall fantastic, so I really can't stop myself from buying them. But if Magic Sqaure did stick to that harder plastic, I would be buying them over New Age any day of the week, especially if they painted them like they did with this guy. And then like I said, also Magic Sqaure nailed articulation on this guy, and you can really get him in any sort of pose you really need to. The last thing I will say is that even if New Age does end up making a Perceptor one day, I'm not sure if I'll end up picking him up or keeping him in my collection because I really do like this guy. I don't think I'll ever swap him out. But this is a very strong recommend for me, guys. This is a figure you definitely want to add to either your New Age or Magic Sqaure collection because he'll fit in both. But that's going to be all my thoughts on this guy. Let me know what you guys think down below. Let me know if you already have him or let me know if you plan on picking him up. But if you guys enjoyed any of this content, once again, make sure to like and subscribe. It really does help me out. And once again, one like equals one pat for my little buddy Doug here, and he loves his pats. But also, once again, if you guys enjoyed any of the music in this video or just want to support the channel, all the music is part of my royalty-free music label, Speakerhead Studios. Link in the description. But that's going to be it for me, guys. I appreciate you checking out the video, and I'll catch all y'all in the next one. Peace.